Joining me this morning here at 1045theteam.com is Corey McLaughlin, the deputy editor of Lacrosse Magazine. You can follow him on Twitter at Corey_MCL. Corey, thanks for being with us. How are you?
No problem. I'm good. How are you?
Good. Here locally, it's a big day for us in the lacrosse world. We've got high school regionals going on. We had him yesterday as well. We've got him coming up this weekend, state tournament action. But tonight, the Tewaaraton Trophy gets awarded in the college circuit, and we here are wondering if Albany senior star Lyles Thompson can repeat as a Tewaaraton winner and become the first player ever to do that. And Corey, I want to ask you your thoughts. Do you think this award is Lyles to lose?
Exactly that. Yeah, I think it is Lyles to lose. I would be shocked if he doesn't win it tonight. Denver attackman Westberg, put together a string of, Tewaaraton-type moments, I would say, through the NCAA tournament. He got 15 goals. He scored the OT winner against Notre Dame and had 5 goals in the title game win against Maryland. But I still don't think that's going to be enough to knock Lyles Thompson off the perch from kind of the Tewaaraton Award favorite spot he's been at all season long. Lyle, aside from being the best player that I've ever seen play, and I didn't see some of the, guys from previous generations, but, he's put together 121 points this season, which is the second highest point total in D1 men's history, behind himself last year when he had 128, and when he won the award with his brother Miles. So I do think it's Lyles to lose, and I would be surprised if he doesn't win it.
I think a lot of people coming into the season were wondering if Lyles Thompson was going to be able to duplicate last year's performance without his brother Miles and his cousin Ty there, and with all the attention solely focused on him by defenders. How impressive was it to you that he was able to put up these kind of numbers yet again, being everyone's main focus here, playing without Miles and Ty?
Yeah, it has been different, and it was different for them early on. I think they're probably trying to make Connor Fields and Seth Oakes fit into the Miles and Ty molds, but it wasn't exactly that simple. But I think as the season went along, you saw them come together, and by the end of the season, they were humming along just as good as that attack was last year with Miles and Ty. Connor Fields scored more goals as a freshman as anybody before, and Seth Oakes and Lyle had chemistry coming into the season as well already. So, I was curious, like everyone else, how that would go. But Lyle, being the type of player and type of person he is, was able to lead that and kind of make that happen, and the rest of the team embraced that new offensive parts as well.
What is Lyles Thompson's ultimate legacy to the sport of lacrosse? Obviously, his career is going to continue at the pro level, but Major League Lacrosse not at the level yet that lacrosse world would want it to be. So a lot of people are going to remember Lyle based on these 4 years in college. What is his ultimate legacy?
He's one of the best players of all time, which is a good start. But other than that, he's being around him and talking to him a bunch of times over the last couple of years. I mean, you couldn't have a better person kind of to be that one of those top players of all time, and really embrace, he's kind of shy, reserved kid, but as he's been, gotten more attention for his play on the field, he's really kind of embraced the fact that he needs to kind of embrace the limelight a little bit and put himself out there and do interviews and share his story and where he comes from and all of that stuff. So to me, I'll remember him through college as just a kid who kind of developed as college kids do, and while at the same time being this incredible talent, a lacrosse talent that he is. And he will go into the pro league. He already has. He played last week with the Florida launch for Major League Lacrosse. I'm curious to see how he does there. I mean, I'm sure he'll do great, but just as far as having the ability for people to follow him throughout a pro career, which 15 years ago, outdoor-wise, wasn't possible, and I know he wants to play in the indoor pro league as well. So, I mean, he'll go as far as kind of he wants to go in the pro game.
The Tewaaraton Award is awarded tonight. Also on the women's side locally, a lot of interest as Niskayuna graduate Kayla Treanor of Syracuse is up for that award. Can Kayla Treanor win the award on the women's side?
She certainly can. Same thing there, though. I think it's Taylor Cummings to lose. it's hard to. She's been the favorite kind of all season long, and then she comes up big in the NCAA tournament again, and Maryland wins the championship again. So I think it'd be kind of a surprise, to me at least, if somebody besides Taylor Cummins from Maryland wins the women's award.
Corey McLaughlin, deputy editor of Lacrosse Magazine, at Corey_MCL on Twitter, joining us here at 1045theteam.com. Denver wins the men's national championship this week on Monday. A lot gets made of how they're the first team west of even just the Appalachian Mountains to win the national title. How big is that for the sport of lacrosse? Lacrosse has been a largely regional sport, mid-Atlantic sport for so long, and now to get out of that mold, how important is that, and how big is that?
It's very important. I mean, competitive-wise, we had Denver as our preseason number one team in the country. So to lacrosse people, I don't think it was a surprise that Denver won. But already, you see the reaction that Denver winning has gotten from people that you wouldn't think of. The day after, I was seeing stuff on social media from John Elway out in Denver, Adam Schefter, the ESPN reporter. The mayor took a selfie with the team out at a celebration the day after. I heard it on Around the Horn yesterday on ESPN. So if a typical East Coast team won the championship again, none of these things would be happening. So as lacrosse, it's still a niche sport for the most part nationally. So you're still trying to get out there, and all the attention it can get is good. And Denver winning a national championship has certainly received plenty of attention so far from places you wouldn't normally get it. So I think it's huge. We'll see. I know Bill Tierney, the coach there, said right afterward, he hopes that Denver winning a title kind of opens the eyes to more athletic directors to kind of take men's lacrosse more seriously, either considering it or adding it. So.
When we talk about Lyle Thompson's high point totals that we alluded to earlier, 121 this season, you've got a couple of rule changes that you'd like to see imposed in lacrosse world, which is going to up scoring even further. You've talked about a 90-second shot clock once the ball crosses midfield and a potential 2-point line to go along with that. Do you think these things are realistic, or why do you want to see them implemented?
Yeah, I threw that out there on Twitter just to, partly because I believe it, partly just to see people's reaction. And realistically, I mean, the rules committees have been traditionally kind of incremental in their changes, so I would be really surprised if if what I proposed there comes in next rule cycle, 90 seconds and a 2-point line. But I do think there's been tons of talk about a shot clock over the last couple of years, and I do think it's a good idea. I think I've come to that realization. But with that, I think you look at the pro game, and I think you need to put a 2-point line in with it. Otherwise, defenses are going to, you hear this a lot from coaches, are going to probably pack in zone defenses, and then you're kind of back to square one as far as the pace of play discussion and needing something to benefit the offense. A lot of people think the shot clock is for an offense. The shot clock will benefit defenses first, so you need to kind of offset that with something for the offense, either a 2-point line or a lot of people talk about the dive, bringing that back. I don't think that'll happen either. But I think as lacrosse continues to grow, I also think it would be exciting for fans just to have something like a 2-point line and a shot clock in there, so you can kind of explain it to new fans. Like here's what happens, right? Because right now you have these clearing clocks, you got all sorts of things, and I think it'd just be simpler to, you bring the ball across midline, you have X amount of time to score. You can score one goal, or you can score a 2-point goal, and I think that would add another dimension to the game and kind of make it exciting. I say that after watching, the championship game on Monday, where, probably not the most exciting game for the casual fan. And part of that, I'm not blaming the teams for that. They're playing within the rules as they are now, and they're both great coaching staffs. That's just kind of the way it goes right now.
Corey McLaughlin, deputy editor of Lacrosse Magazine, and with U.S. Lacrosse joining us here at 1045theteam.com. We are big into lacrosse right now in the Capital Region. We followed the Thompsons for the last 5 years, Lyles Thompson for the last 4, and hoping he can culminate it again here. A great career with the Tewaaraton again tonight. Corey, thanks for being with us.
No problem. Thanks for having me. Enjoyed it.